Children, Vardhamana Mahavira was the most important religious teachers of Jainas. The Jainas believe that Mahavira had 23 predecessors called Tirthankaras. Do you know what are predecessors? उनके जो पूर्वज, उनसे पहले जो गुरु रहे हैं. And Mahavira was the last or the 24th Tirthankara, right? Who spread the message around the time of Buddha, that is 2500 years ago only. He was a Kshatriya prince of Lichavis, which was a group or a part of Vaji Sangha. Right, children? He was born in Kundagram, a village near Vaishali in Bihar, and at the age of 30, he left his family in search of truth. He kept on wandering from place to place around 12 years and meditating really hard, and finally attained the supreme knowledge, that is enlightenment. He really spent a hard and lonely life for those 12 years. Now, what were his main teachings? He taught a simple doctrine, that is, men and women who wish to know the truth must leave their homes, and led a very simple lives, begging for food and following the strict rules of ahimsa. The most important doctrine of Jainism is ahimsa, or non-injury to living beings. According to Mahavira, all living beings long to live. To all living things, life is dear. So, what did he say? He taught that life is really very important and precious for everybody. We have to be kind to everybody, whether it's a human being or animal. Mahavira gave importance of human values and preached equality to mankind. He believed that everyone, irrespective of his varnas, can attain liberalization through good actions. And what is liberalization, children? Liberation means to getting rid of the cycle of birth and death, and to attain the true knowledge. And how these things could be attained? Kaise? Through right knowledge, right faith, and right actions. These were actually considered as 3 jewels of Jainism. Now, children, like Buddha, Mahavira also used to preach in the Prakrit language. Unki teachings jo thi, they were also in Prakrit language. Next, children, Jainism was supported mainly by traders, farmers who had to kill insects to protect their crops. But it found it more difficult to follow the rules. Men were strictly following the rules, but it was really difficult for women to follow the rules laid down by Jainism. Over 100 of years, Jainism spread to different parts of North India and to Gujarat, along with Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. Children, teachings of Mahavira and his followers were transmitted orally from one person to another, and it continued transmitting for several centuries. And finally, at present, they are available at Vallabhi in Gujarat, which was about 1500 years ago. It was written down in some books. Next comes Sangha. Children, both Mahavira and Buddha felt that only those who left their homes and left a lonely life, they kept on meditating for a long time, should gain true knowledge. So what they had done, they have arranged a specific place for them, and the association which was being created by the people who left their home was known as Sangha. The rules made by the Buddhist Sangha were written down in a book named as Vinaya Pitaka. Right? From this book, from this Vinaya Pitaka, we came to know that there were separate branches for both men and women. All the men could join these sanghas, these associations, but children had to take the permission of their parents, whereas the slaves have to take permission from their masters, जिनके लिए वो काम करते थे. Even those who work for the king had to take permission from the king, and the debtors who has taken or borrowed money from somebody has to take permission of their creditors. Creditors were the person who gave them the money, right? On the other hand, the women at that time had to take permission from their husband. Now, men and women who joined Sangha led very simple lives. They used to meditate for the long hours, and they kept on moving from one place to another or one village to another for begging food. And there were the fixed hours for begging. Now, these people were known as bhikkhus or beggars. Now, children, these sanghas used to hold some of the meetings also to settle down the quarrels if any occurred within the sanghas. And who were the main parts of these sanghas? They were particularly Brahmins, Kshatriyas, merchant, laborers, barbers, courtesans and slaves. These were mainly the part of these association or sanghas. Next comes monasteries. Children, monasteries actually a very unique contribution of Buddha to art and architecture. Since Buddhist monks went from place to place spreading the message of Buddhism, monasteries were built by their supporters where they could take shelters, especially during the rainy season. Right, children? These monasteries were called viharas. The land on which these viharas were built were donated by the king, landlords or the rich merchants. The ordinary people too gave their contribution in the form of gifts and clothes. And in return, what they used to do? They taught the people. Right, children? Earlier, children, these monasteries or viharas were made out of wood. And later on, they were being carved out in the caves or hills, specifically in the western India. Monasteries actually, children, were comprised of small rooms for the shelters of monks. The Buddhist monasteries become great center of learning, and some of them like Nalanda and Vikramashila in Bihar became universities later. Right, children? So this is all about the chapter.